Please welcome the man Gordon Brown can't touch or get within 50 feet of by law. It's an injunction thing. It's TV's Iain Lee.
Oh, what a surprise. How lovely. How lovely to see you. Bless you. Bless you. Daisy and Mackenzie, how lovely to see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for appearing. Thank you. Welcome to the 11 o'clock show on Tuesday, the 9th of March, 1999. With me tonight, a typical British housewife, Daisy Donovan, and typical benefit fraudster, Mackenzie Crook. Now, have you seen ITV's new 11 o'clock news? Of course you have, and that's why you're watching us, bless you. But don't worry, you won't miss a single scrap of news here, because every evening, we on the 11 o'clock show, we bring you all the headlines of the day in our very own special way. We call it our News Slam, and it's hosted by the 11 o'clock show's very own Tommy Vance.
Tuesday, March the 9th, and Gordon Brown lets the budget out of the bag. Some things have gone up, others have stayed the same. It's that simple. How will it affect the typical Brit? How will it affect Eddie Peacock? Only one person knows. Eddie Peacock. From Gordon Brown to the heir to the crown. And security is stepped up as Charles takes a trip to Argentina. He's there to honour the Argy dead. But what about our boys? No one remembers their pain, their anguish, their fight to the bitter end. Poor David Beckham. From honoured arges to grannies on barges. And the River Derwent spills its watery guts all over Yorkshire. This old wrinkly's off to get some bread. Silly bat. Why doesn't she stay indoors and keep warm? She just fancies the fireman. I wouldn't be surprised if she started the flood herself. From floods north of York to legs like old pork. And women are popping the pill that cures the cellulite disease. Look at that! Christ, I had corned beef for lunch. Oh, that's better. Hang on, what is this? The news or Baywatch? Oh, the news.
Now, today was Budget Day, which was very lucky for Chancellor Gordon Brown because he chose today to deliver his new budget. Coincidence. Now, I fancy myself as a bit of a speculator, and so this morning I invested in these. I bought 20 Lambert and Butler, 4 cans of Castlemaine, and a litre of Esso 4-Star. Now, from these two, I made a cool 30 pence, which I immediately spent on this. This is a leading brand of chocolate, which, for legal reasons relating to the product placement, I can't name. Unfortunately, I lost out on a whopping 40 pence windfall on these. That's because the Chancellor laid off the booze, for once. But, bless you. But how did I know what to invest in? Well, because every year he targets exactly the same things. Beer, fags, petrol. Your working class staples, or, as we now say in Class This New Britain, peasants' things. So, if it's the same budget every year, how come it takes Gordon Brown 12 months to write it? Daisy Donovan literally has the answer.
Yes, I do. Gordon Brown's desk diary. April 1998. Only 11 months till the budget. What the hell am I going to tax? Need ideas. Well, at least I'm not gay. September 10th. Drove to work this morning, passed a bus stop. Everyone was smoking. Gave me a great idea. Tax buses. September the 11th. Not buses. Need something more like cigarettes. Got it, fags. March the 8th. Fags and what? Rope? Fuck it. Why don't I freeze the price of booze for a year till the millennium? That will make me more popular than Tony. The diary of a genius.
No, Daisy, the diary of a Scottish fool. Beer, fags and petrol are old hats. If you want to increase tax revenue, Gordon, get with it. Read the papers. Check out what's happening right now. Think, what's new? What are the people up to today? And then slap a tax on it. The scary Mackenzie's got a few suggestions.
That's right, Iain. We Brits can't seem to have a day trip to Bridlington these days without getting kidnapped. So, slap a tax on it. A 15% tax on holidays in Yemen would net an extra £60 billion. Now, of course, the media adores Robbie Williams, so every time his gob appears in a paper, slap a tax on it. That's £74 billion. And taxing pictures of future royals with their jugs in Chris Tarrant's face would, I calculate, bring in 100 billion.
Big veins.
Yeah.
Now, if Gordon Brown would hit them instead of these, he'd claw in over £200 billion, leaving peasants like us free to enjoy the simple pleasures of life. Cheers. Now, have you noticed that on the news, when there's a big story to cover, they always go straight to their resident pundit? Well, we can do that as well. We've got our very own resident pundit. He was Margaret Thatcher's press secretary for a staggering 11 years. It's Sir Bernard Ingham. Let's go to him now for his reaction to the budget. Sir Bernard, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Iain. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks for asking. Now, you're in the papers yourself today, weren't you?
I'm fine, thanks, Iain. How are you?
That's fine. Obviously, you don't want to talk about it, we understand. So, Bernard, what was your reaction to today's budget, then? Tell us.
How many more cats must die before this practice is outlawed?
Sir Bernard Ingham, thank you very much. More incisive comment on breaking stories from Sir Bernard during the course of the show.
Now, according to today's Times, the newly published book, New Start Worship, billed as a worship book for the millennium, says that shopping is next to godliness. What's going on? Are the churches going too far in their attempts to make religion relevant to the masses? Iain, lovely Iain, took to the streets this morning to try and find out.
So shopping can bring people closer to God than going to church. Is this true or just complete bollocks? Even our Lord Jesus Christ, our Lord and Saviour, Jesus Christ, the master of all creation, amen, must move with the times. I've come here to London to find out just what changes the church has to make to face the challenges of the 21st century. Do you believe in God?
I believe in God, yeah.
Do you believe in life after love?
Life after love. After love? Well, not really, because I've been divorced, so I ain't got life after
Oh, really?
love.
Do you believe in life after love? One of the changes the progressive churches are looking to make is actually change the lyrics to some of the hymns. They think of changing the words of "When I needed a neighbour," the hymn "When I needed a neighbour," to "When I needed a dealer, were you there, were you there? When I needed a reefer, man, were you there?"
It sounds sick, quite frankly.
Some of the churches are talking about finding a new Jesus, a new face for Jesus that can be instantly identifiable with the youngsters. These are some of the suggestions they've come up with as the new Jesus. Just let me know what you think. Nick Faldo, golfing legend. Good Jesus or bad Jesus?
No, not really, no.
Nicky Campbell.
Yeah, yeah.
Campbell could be a good friend.
Yeah, I think so.
Very clean, isn't he?
Yeah.
Mr. T from the 18.
Hey.
He's a bit of a wild card. This has surprised quite a lot of the members. He has pity. He has pity for poor fools. That's one of the things he's famous for.
Yes.
Now, we've actually got the new 10 commandments here. These have been drawn up by one of the churches. It's new commandments and commandments written in the language of the street. Thou shalt not bum.
What do they mean by that?
Do you enjoy bumming? Have you ever done that?
We do a lot of things when we're in college, don't we?
Should they really have it, the church must be prepared to change and change quickly. Otherwise, this cost cutter could become a new church, this bag of peas, the new Messiah, and this till receipt, the new Bible. This has been Iain Lee, the 11 o'clock show, London.
Here's a question for you. What are these people doing? Are they A, enjoying the countryside as God intended, B, escaping their urban hell for a moment of pastoral reflection, or C, staring at each other's damp asses in the middle of a windy field? The answer is, in fact, they're doing all three. That's because they're ramblers, and that's what ramblers do. That photo appeared in today's Telegraph because Environment Minister Michael Meacher has granted them the right to roam across 4 million acres of countryside in England and Wales. But just who are these so-called ramblers? Here's Daisy with one of her in-depth sociological analyses.
I can pronounce it, Iain. Ramblers are simple folk. Men ramblers are called Jeff, And when they're not rambling, they like to collect medals. Now, girl ramblers are lovely and plump and never shave. They're a resourceful breed and can deal with a mountaintop menstruation with nothing more than a stale bun and a pair of thick socks.
We love ramblers. We appreciate everything they've done for the cagoule and we support their right to ramble. The trouble is, for the non-rambler, they're a right pain in the nuts. With only 4 million acres to choose from, it won't be long before they're rambling right near you. That's why we're building them their very own homeland. It's called Rambleton. Tell us about it, Mackenzie.
Welcome to Rambleton, the Ramblers' Paradise, just off the M4 near Heathrow. And here are the Ramblers. Here they are, going past the shooting range. Whoa, watch out! And, stop it. On to the local shop there, where they can pick up their supplies, their maps, sandwiches, talcum powder for their chafed inner thighs. And on to the local pub, the Rambleton Arms there, where they might pop in if they fancy a large stiff one inside them after a hard day's rambling. Then they can go on, rest in the compost heap, where they might swap photos of their favourite hedge or tell spooky stories about rickety stiles or something, I don't know. And being situated near the M4, Rambleton's in exactly the right place for a flyover. Iain.
Rambleton works, and it gets all the rambling done in just 1,000 acres. Compare that to Meech's plans, and that's a saving of 3,999,000 acres for us, the proper British public, to build more shopping centres on. And we can, in fact, go back now to the 11 o'clock show's own news pundit, Sir Bernard Ingham. Sir Bernard, what's your position on rambling?
How many more cats must die before this practice is outlawed?
Sir Bernard, thank you very much. Now, we all care about what's happening in the world, but only a few of us have the time to really care. And since the deaths of Mother Teresa and Gabby Roslin, our numbers have been in decline. So to help build them up again, we asked Daisy to literally put her heart on her sleeve and go out and become our very own dangerously caring angel of delight. I particularly wanted her to cuddle a few lepers, but we couldn't find any in Britain. Sorry about that, Daisy. But there are politicians.
What gilds the Peter Lily?
Sorry, what?
What gilds the Peter Lily?
Ah, what gilds the Peter Lily? I'm not quite sure how to interpret that question.
Do you think in a way you have to laugh to hide the tears?
Sometimes. Oh, yes, sometimes. You know, sometimes, you know, the clown's face hides
Grease paint tears.
our broken heart.
At the end of a harrowing debate, do you often think, my God, you know, I've shot my load, exhausted?
No, debates are just enormously fun.
You sometimes must just feel like going,
Ooh. Well, yes, you do, but I mean, you know, but you just have to carry on.
But do you ever just feel like, you know...
No, but you have to be fairly thick-skinned.
The fact is that politicians have a fairly low level of esteem amongst the public, but I'm encouraged by the fact that journalists have an even lower one.
Oh, no, well, you must have danced with the phoenix, mustn't you? Is England land of hope and...
Glory. Yes, I passionately believe it.
What are the major changes facing the Labour Party as we enter the millennium?
I like that.
The parliamentary system does centre around debate, and if you don't enjoy debate, you shouldn't go into Parliament.
What should you do?
Oh, well, run a business or something.
And Glenn Hoddle, what's the Jackanory, is it all hunky-dory?
Why do you speak in riddles? What on earth are you talking about? It's like talking in tongues. I mean, ask me a question in English and I'll do my best to reply.
The charming Daisy there. And Daisy, I understood every single word you said. God bless you.
Good.
That's her showing us one way to get a response from the glorious rulers of our land. Here's Simon Michael Simon with another way. See you after the break.
Simon Michael Simon here, and Mr Lorne has sent me to Westminster to get the autograph of MP and Member of Parliament Stephen Dorrell. Now, I've got my book, and I'm a bit nervous and tense, and hopefully I'm not going to be sick. So wish me luck. Yes, I met Stephen Dorrell.
1 o'clock, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry I was sick. I'm sorry. I was sick.
Very nice of you, thank you.
Do you have a tissue, a disused tissue? Please don't tell Mr Lorimer. I've been sick everywhere. Mr. Lauren will be livid. That didn't go very well.
And we've just got time to give you the answers to yesterday's quiz on Chris Tarrant, host of Britain's most popular television show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? He's on the front of the Mirror today for giving contestants money for wrong answers. Here we go. The answer to question 1 was £1 million, ladies and gentlemen. The answer to question 2, the average IQ is 17. The answer to question 3 was Lenny Henry, and his catchphrase was, OK. And question 4, the answer was, of course, no, it wasn't a cheap publicity stunt to get on the front of the newspapers, but we would have accepted, yes, it was, or indeed, any other answer you wish to give. Today's winner is a Mr. G. Brown. Congratulations, Mr. Brown. You win £175,000 and 200 duty-free Rothmans. Well done, sir. Now, the Daily Mail today claims that employers are losing faith in New Labour's flagship jobs programme, the New Deal. Well, we at the 11 o'clock show certainly aren't. We think New Deal is a great idea. It's good for employers and it's good for employers. In fact, we think it's such a good idea that we've got involved ourselves. And this is absolutely true, I swear to you. We've taken on our very own New Deal boy. He's here tonight. Please welcome Dan Demetriou. Let's hear it. Dan. Sit down. Dan, first thing I want to say is, please, Demetriou. His last name's Demetriou. It sounds a bit like to meet you. Now, you are a real New Deal person, aren't you?
Yes.
That's fantastic. We've got your paperwork, I think, coming up on screen here to prove it's all legit. Now, what were you doing before you joined us?
I was a tyre fitter.
Yeah? This is interesting because we think that Dan is now working for us. Dan has the best job at the show. He comes in about 10 o'clock in the morning, makes coffee, then goes out, buys some more coffee for everyone in the office, comes back, makes it, goes out, buys champagne for me and Daisy, comes back and watches us drink it, then sucks our toes. Great job. Finally, Dan, are you enjoying yourself here?
Yeah, it's great fun.
Fantastic. Well, we'll be keeping you informed of Dan's progress throughout the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Demetriou, the New Deal boy. Let's hear it. Here, Dan. Oh, Dan.
Yeah.
Sorry. Dan, could you make a couple of cups of tea?
Yeah.
And could you drink them yourself, please, Dan? We have a lot of fun. Now, like the whole nation, the 11 o'clock show was stunned last night by Michael Howard's shock announcement that he was resigning from the shadow cabinet. Pundits are baffled as to why a man at the heart of William Hague's ace squad should swap the front bench for highly lucrative directorships. Someone who knew the man behind the mask was the talented former Home Secretary's close comrade, Sir Bernard Ingham. Sir Bernard, how would you describe Michael Howard?
Personally, I never met the man, but he was a great friend.
What conclusions do you draw from this shock announcement?
There is no place in British society for poorly made furniture.
Sir Bernard Ingham there, speaking for us all there, I think. Now, the papers today are full of hello has-been Della Bovey's new boyfriend, Anthony Costanduros. What's all the fuss about? If you're not sure, here's what the papers ought to say. It's our regular feature, What the Papers Ought to Say.
The Sun tells us, this is the dreadlocked toy boy who is the new lover of dumped Della Bovey. And what they meant was...
Remember that woman who used to do the lottery? Well, remember her lover, remember his wife. Right, bear with me. Now, he's left her, she's now seeing someone else, and guess what? He's got grubby hair.
The Mail reveals that observers could not help remarking that beneath the matted tresses he was a dead ringer for Della's departed husband, Grant, illustrating their point with a mocked-up photo. What they meant was...
Put any white guy in dreads and he'll look like an arse.
And the Mail goes on. Della has become far more extrovert since falling for him. She wears revealing clothes, recently had her navel pierced and has had a breast enlargement operation.
What they meant was...
Tramp.
As regular viewers of the channel will already know, Channel 4 is committed to producing programmes that cater for all sections of society, and we take that commitment very seriously indeed. That's why we have invited back the 11 o'clock show's very own voice of youth, Ali G, to give us the young person's perspective on some of the top news issues of our time, in his very own inimitable style. Now, it seems every day Sophie Rhys-Jones is appearing in the tabloids with her jugs out. So we sent Ali G to talk to veteran royal watcher James Whitaker
to get the lowdown on the high-ups.
Yeah, don't stop. It goes out to the crew up top. That's it.
Wicked, I is here with none other than James Whitaker. He is a close friend of all the royals. He is the expert in the country about the royal family and about the monarchy. So he is going to hear and tell us why it is all so important. Do you think there is too much press attention on the royals?
Sometimes, yes, I do think so. I think that the pressure on Diana in the last few months, no, actually the last few years of her life, was too much.
Do you think it was Saddam Hussein had something to do with her death?
I don't think anybody. I think the only person who had anything to do with the death was the driver, Henri Paul, who was drunk.
But me heard that the Queen wanted to make sure that Saddam was cool in Iraq because they had oil in Iran and they wanted to make sure that there was planes there. Do you not think that is why she died?
I don't think her death had anything to do with Iraq or Iran or Saddam Hussein or anybody at all.
Why was she not being that Pakistani?
Well, he wasn't a Pakistani for a start, he's an Egyptian. She fell in love, in lust with him, and she had a summer romance.
Will Carmela ever be queen?
Camilla?
Carmela.
I think she will.
Do you think that a lot of the objection to Carmela is because she is so minging? So what? So minging, because she is so rank. She's so, her face is very ugly.
That's a cruel word.
No, that's
Ali,
a cool word.
that's
No,
a
we
cruel
don't
word
want to
to
say
say
that.
about any
Not
woman.
ugly. No, we didn't want to say that. She's rank. She's rank.
Yeah, look, most women in this country will have a hell of a job.
Dodgy.
Well, no,
Yeah,
being compared to
rough.
Diana,
she
who
was
was
fit.
a very good-looking woman,
No, she was fit.
very tasty. So you put anybody up against Diana and it's a wee bit of a problem. She's also a very fit woman. She rides well.
She ain't fit, man.
No, this is a woman who understands Prince Charles well. She satisfies
But she looked like
him.
Rod Hull. She does, man. What do you think about Fergie?
I think she's a decent person.
Did they not find pictures of her sucking someone's knob or something?
No, they didn't find pictures of that. In fact, I was present at this. You're talking about sucking somebody's toe, or having her toes sucked.
Aye, but they used the word
Johnny
toe.
Bryan.
They used the word
financial
toe.
No, I was watched this. Naughty.
All right. Thank you very much, James Whitaker.
Ali.
And it is time that you at home start knowing about the monarchy, start knowing about the Queen, because she is in control of the country. Check it out. Big up yourself, Mr. Whitaker.
Thank you.
Well, that's the end of the show. We're on the air for the next 8 weeks. So if you'd like to contact us for any reason, maybe you've got a consumer gripe about fridges. Hang on a minute, that's Watchdog, I think. Anyway, here's our addresses.
The 11 o'clock show, PO Box 30,002, London SE1 8WW. And if, like me, you're a bit of a geek, Daisy has our email address.
Yes, in fact, it's the same as our normal address. You just have to write the word email along the bottom of the envelope.
Daisy, Mackenzie, thank you. Good night.
And the 11 o'clock show is back tomorrow at, you guessed it, 11 o'clock.